Good morning. There's the sunshine creeping through the trees. The temperature has dropped just a little bit, but very nice. We are back here. Not long ago, we removed a big oak tree leaning out over this outbuilding. Since then, the little hurricane storm come through, and this happened. Thing is laying up here on a limb, on a large limb from this tree. It's just laying oh so nicely up there on it. We believe that this lower limb here is really serving as a pretty good counterweight and keeping that thing from rolling which way or the other. It's going to be a little task getting this out of here. The septic tank's here, drain fields here. That's the disadvantage. It kind of is what it is, though. I don't really have a whole lot of options unless we got a crane and set a crane out here. But I think I'm pretty confident we can work it out without having to do that. Just a lot of wood under tension. That's going to be the biggest thing when you got one laying over into another. There's going to be some tension in places that you wouldn't think there would be. So, had to be careful doing that. We fit to get started on it. Aim at one way to warm up. We cut that one down a couple of months ago. It is apparent to me now that with this one gone, it really weakened this one that was already weak structurally, and it allowed the wind. It had a good blockade from the wind all these years, and then once we cut that big oak tree down, it really changed the scope of what they could handle. It's really something to consider. You can see there where it's laying up on it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Wow. Big wood. Big wood. I've removed some big limbs, the ones that are really easy to get to and that wouldn't be above me while I was in here working on some of this other stuff. Right here you can see where this is rubbed together, where it's laid over on this limb. The tree itself is laid over on this limb, so there's a lot of pressure there, a lot of tree left up there, a lot of weight, a lot of wood. But I wanted to bring you guys down here to where it's laid over on it. All right, you see what we have here in this junction. This is on the anchor oak, what I'm gonna call, that's not the species, that's what I'm considering the anchor oak, because it's anchoring this tree, laid over in this tree. So, laid over on this limb, follow it all the way back to the main stem. You got a major crossover right here, where this limb kind of split as it come out, and that one grew over this one. A lot of stress on this thing, and you can see a lot of stress. There was already a lot of stress on it. This is what they consider included bark. When two stems are grown together, this is a weak union here, a really weak union. This is what you'll see break out a lot of the times. It all starts with at the stem, at the crotch, on how well it's structured. See a lot of stress under here. See, this thing kind of went three different ways here, the limb did. Crossed over here, so there's a lot of included bark here. You see how that stuff just sits in there? So that's where you'll get decay. Moisture gets trapped in there and you'll get decay in here. Again, a lot of included bark here. You see the stress fracture. And it don't help that all that weight's laying on it. So now we get to the hard part. It's where we go to working out what has pressure on it. We've already got a heck of a mess on the ground. I cut a lot of that stuff into firewood. It'll be salvaged into firewood. So it's ready to load, ready to be hauled back and split. See, everybody's got hard hats on. Everybody's visible. Got our X-ring set up down to our porter wrap. So we're gonna get ready to start removing some of this wood and some more of these limbs. I don't know of any more pressure. I think there's some pressure up in there where it's laid over in the top of that other limb. There's some pressure there too. I'm kind of limited on what I can reach. So that's where it's gonna get a little sketchy. Keeping you updated. Alrighty, we was able to get all of the top, all of that top out. I went ahead and cut back the limb that it's laying on because of that bad spot and all the weight that was coming out. I found it best to go ahead and remove it entirely. We left that on there, that giant limb that comes out. I left it on there for counterweight. Kind of glad that I did, because once I removed the top and I got some of this weight out of here, this tree actually shifted over that way. You can kind of see where it was laying. It shifted over that way once this weight was removed. Kind of proving that that worked. Because if I'd already went ahead and took all this out, I'm afraid that this would have come on over here. Of course, I don't want that to happen, considering where I'm set up and just the way that I'm positioned with the bucket. So, pretty glad all in all. About to finish working some of this down. Get ready to eat some lunch. Alright, that's a wrap on that. Look at that trifecta of leads. I don't really know what to do with that. I don't want to flush it. I may bring it on back some. Man, I don't want to flush them off though too close. There's not really a branch collar. I mean, it's that's crazy the way that is. But anyway, I cut it free and it laid down nicely. See the root ball, the whole root ball and all rolled over. Didn't really skin the pine tree up. All in all, went good. We've already got 90% of the debris cleaned up. Got a little bit left here. And then we'll go to cutting the wood up small and getting it out of here. Been a good day. Thanks for following along.